Okay, so I'm going to do a more mediumistic reading in this attempt with Dr. Martin Luther King. Just see if I get a connection and a message. And I just turn over the table to, I'll be turning it over to him, his spirit, his being, and what he wants to convey. Especially now at the 20th, I believe it is it the 20th anniversary? I have pandemic fog brain. This is cedar, sustainably gathered. It smells great, and I'm just making and clearing the space, preparing it. All right. And a little Palo Santo, and I'm good. That's what I love about Palo Santo. You don't need to smoke out a room to have the effect. It's understanding and respecting Palo Santo as a being that you are utilizing. Oops, I'm so sorry. I'll make sure I edit that out. Okay. Cleanse this space and try to make it accommodating so that Martin Luther King would be willing to communicate with me through the medium of cards. As silly as though it may sound, it is just, they are key symbols, and it's nothing more than a code that one interprets. Okay. Good enough. It smells really good in here. It's not too strong and it's not too smoky or anything. Nice. Alright, the cards are ready. Let's go and shuffle. So I'm going to use the Aquarian Tarot. It felt like, use this. So I said, okay. I've been using it more recently. It is by David Palladini. He did another deck I had. I liked it as well. I recognize his name. Palladini deck. Anyway, I'm gonna have to, you know that I'll be Googling that after I get off of here and have uploaded this. You know, there is something I just want to say very quickly, and it's not it is a complaint, but I'm not like dumping. My solution is just to do what I want to do, no matter what I enjoy. But I've been like losing followers, which is just weird. It's been, like I said, the numbers have been bouncing and getting less revenue, and I don't know. I think they're fiddling with algorithms or some such thing. So I just think, regardless, you know, I'm gonna do what I want, guys. But I am gonna look at other platforms. I was looking at Twitch, and that looks like Twitch is just more of like if you're gonna be streaming a lot. I don't have that flexibility to just spontaneously do that. When I get a house that is not stuck in renovation and where I have my own studio, private room, I will be doing that. Basically, my room also suffices as the living room. The only room where the TV is. Frankly, I wish they would move it out. I can do with my laptop. But I'm just relaxing as I'm going to focus here because it's a little intimidating to think, yeah, even though it's cards, it's like communicating. It is a very intimate, intimate act in a way, and I don't mean that in any way sexual. I mean it just in the way of exchange of energy when you're reading on somebody. That's why if it's somebody that's unpleasant, you want to definitely, or a heavy energy, you want to definitely make sure you cleanse. And always like bless if it's good energy, and be grateful, and like sprinkle that everywhere. Pass it along. We all know that somebody can be feeling bad, and there's, oh, I've had that day. Oh, there's a siren. So I always say a little prayer in my mind for whoever's in need and those who are responding, to help that person, for them all to be safe in the way that it's best. So what would it be? Okay. As I screw up this poor deck of cards. Okay. So I'm definitely going to be editing a lot of this out, because I have to cut through all this distraction. But I feel like Mr. King is there, Dr. King. He is not an uptight man. I get a sense of him kind of waiting for me to get my stuff together and focused. He's in no rush, and he's very chill, very relaxed. He's not uptight. Very congenial, like very he was a minister, so he would have those skills of not only speaking, of course, magnificently as an orator, but also the art of conversation that is not formal. Master at it, I get. I didn't know that. I don't know. Anyways, just coming through, so I think I'm connecting. He had a Pisces moon. I have a Pisces moon. And he was a Capricorn, an earth sign. I'm an earth sign, so I think maybe I will hopefully have some luck with that. With the cards. He's very patient with me. I haven't done a really proper mediumistic. I've done more card readings that are on the dead, but really mediumistically, where I've made a space and brought that person in like I am right now. I've been very protective for some reason of them, and giving them a lot of space and reading them still afterlife oriented, but still at a respectful distance. This I'm bringing him in, which is a little different. I wasn't anticipating even doing that, but I'm getting that, hey, guess what? This is what you get to do now, kid. Interesting. Okay, I'm just here to relate what he chooses to use through the cards of the tarot for his message to us. This is his 20th anniversary date of celebration of his day. I'm going to put links to the wiki page so that you understand. Please support them if you can. Give them a little donation, so that you can have a greater understanding and kind of all in one place of Dr. Martin Luther King. Please ignore background noise. My oldest is coming home from work. Okay, so I feel like he's with me, and I feel like he's let me know no matter what, I'm right here. I am now sitting with you, your energy. And that no matter that, he's not going to just poof, disappear if somebody opens the door, for, just having that understanding for myself. Okay, so we get the Eight of Pentacles. This certainly speaks about efforts and works. The Magician. This is a person who is actualizing their dreams. And literally, I just use that word without trying to use that in reference to I have a dream, but it's certainly linked to that. Follow your dreams, believe in yourself. Your initial attempts are always just icebreakers. Know that you have to do something over and over again to get better at it. Look at the variety of tools we have here of communication. Nowadays we have, I'm doing a little bit more of the tarot than he just reminded me of, than the mediumistic. Okay. But I am getting the first couple, these symbols about work and his way of communicating and improving, and was growing. He was honing his skill, and many different skills that he was wanting to achieve, I feel like. And also for civil rights. He really managed to endure and create a lot. His efforts were hard won and repeated. If you're not aware of that, again, familiarize yourself. He went through a lot prior toward his assassination. Anyhow, there will be a link in the description box. For me to open up a door so then I can do both the card read and mediumistic read, I feel like, yep, I'm still here. I'm just going to need to lay out two more, if you guys all know me. There's his assassination. Okay, I feel like I'm tracking. And, I'm getting this extremes. There's extreme juggling of one side and another side. Around his death. Extremists, I think, on both sides may have had a common link in his death. So I think the enemy of my, enemy, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Anyhow, I definitely get, and I'm getting that he's like, hey, I'm still here, and he's not upset with me for using that kind of talk. He's wanting to really impress that he's not super uptight. He's very relatable. He might not use those words particularly, but he's not going to get uptight with me. Okay. I can totally edit this out. Probably should. But it's just part of me linking in and making sure I'm connecting to him. And I definitely think I am here. Okay, so yeah, he was right at that time too. I think he's acknowledging that he was really growing in his way of communicating and rallying support, and he was getting to his peak of skill and ability when he was assassinated. And I do think that his active resistance and the whole lack of support that he felt for Vietnam was very unpopular with certain types in all a manner of power. And it was the extreme, I feel, out there who could make this happen came together, I feel like, and made sure it happened. And so they could fight over power in the vacuum. Oh, ew, ew, that is ugly. Okay. I'm going to relax a little bit. I'll let my family know, hey, please don't open the door. And if they do, it's either to let the cat in or an emergency. Like to bring me a taco. Okay, so I see a great deal, he had a great deal of worry, I think, about the work ongoing, despite the fact that he knew that it would be hard. That man did not sleep much. He worked very, very hard on getting. And his mind never rested. I think he was always a perfectionist in trying to make sure I'm getting that, because I'm relating as one. Not in any way, shape, or form that I can do something perfect, because it doesn't exist. It's subjective, really. But anyway, getting off here on my train of thought, I'm gonna, again, okay, I shuffled, I thought I got my cards sorted out. This one's popped up again, but seems to be at a point, very pointed in the way it's coming up, showing that there is some form of injustice or an abuse of power. Here, somebody who has power, and I'm getting labor, a laborer who's collected to labor. Maybe getting a bit of a teamster feeling. This is a manipulation. This is a setup. They were worried about him becoming more powerful and being able to sway and direct people in his communication as an orator. So the extremes, I think, came together and had him assassinated. Got a patsy for it and everything, so that it didn't come off on either one of them, but they had some somebody fool enough that they could get in there, vulnerable enough. And even his family, King's family, and he's agreeing, believe that I'm just picturing the guy and blanking on his name. But it'll come to me later, and you're saying it right now. But James Earl Ray. they don't believe that he actually was the lone purpose dude involved in this, that he was some lone wolf doing this. They believe that he was a patsy. They do. So there's some cover-up here, because you're dealing with higher forces within government and in the world that operate much differently than the common person that works at a different kind of job or career. You know, this is a very different area of power where you can criminally turn a finding. Basically, there's a criminal assassination, but they can cover it up and they can keep themselves from ever being really clearly exposed. This is what they were thinking. This is what I'm getting. And he knew that the better he got, the more people he was, he's letting me know, yeah, the more people that he was attracting, and the better he was getting, and the more it was getting through to people, and people were smartening up and not just following like sheep what they're told by authorities, that this is a good idea to think for themselves. He became a danger to the state. On some secretive level declared that. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like there are other people in other very dangerous and powerful places that we're dealing with, feeling like organized crime. Definitely that vibe is in there. Teamsters kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just vibe. All alleged. This is entertainment. This is stuff that's coming through with the cards, okay? It's a card reading. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this was a plan. This was planned, but yes, I feel like this was definitely planned. And that Knight of Pentacles may have been, I need to read up on James Earl Ray's sun sign. Could have been him, and the action in carrying out, like, dutifully done assassination. But I see a fragile state of mind with this injustice here. There is paranoia. Could this be the energy of a patsy? Could this be a young James Earl Ray? Carrying out part of a bigger plan? But that which as a knight that they can just... Let's see that third line. I'm very interested. Page of Swords. This is surveillance. Being watched. And King is making me feel like, yes, I was being watched. You know that. Surveillance on me. It's a well-known fact. FBI and all that. So he became a threat to powers as he became more powerful and influential, and speaking out with what a hawkish government that was in place in 1968 wanted to follow. Those, and I believe it's also why Bobby Kennedy got it, by a similar assemblage, if you will, assemblage of like type people. I feel like there's a link between those that were behind his assassination, Bobby's assassination, Martin Luther King's assassination. I believe they're all the same collective that wanted these people gone. And we're all on the same page enough, I think, that secret, dirty kind of op carried out by those in power. Which is scary. And I want to know, for those of you, I know I've got some older cool folks, and let me tell you, never ever, as somebody who's getting now older myself, although and as far as the older realm, I'm young. I'm a kid to a lot of older, the older, what do they want to call us? But screw them, no. We're taking it back the night. That's right. Come with us if you're over 45, and especially over 50, and especially over 60, and especially over 70, and onward. There's so much that you gain, and it's such a pity that the body doesn't get to keep up. I hope that changes in humanity. That would be awesome if we could evolve. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, I was just daydreaming. Back to the reading. I'm sorry, Dr. King. He finds this stunning. He says it's like sitting on Graham Norton's couch, in a way, but less funny. Oh! Okay, guys, that sounds absolutely batshit. I don't know. This, again, may require the edit button. And here we have the Two of Rods, attention and decision. So, whoopsies. When we go horizontal across this level, we have the Page of Swords, we have the Four of Cups. So there is that surveillance and waiting. Somebody, and I think King and that all with that very goose flesh premonitory last words of his that he made about that he might not get there with us, that basically he might die. He had a premonition that he knew that they were coming. So he knew. He definitely knew. And that's showing up here. The more power, he was sensible. He knew the practicality of it too. That the more people that he could influence, it was almost a game to get as much across to get people to think for themselves before his light got snuffed out. That's what I'm being given from him. See, I'm very careful about who I channel or in a semi-channel, and I don't completely allow them in. Having experienced certain things growing up in a haunted house, let me just say, I'm going to say all that and right there, and that you can think about that, let it sink in, marinate it. I don't turn over. I'm very, very careful to whom I open my energy up to. And it's why another reason why I'm rethinking, not because the people I read on were great, but it requires so much. And right now, I would have to decide for me that I would do one or the other. Anyway, back to Martin Luther King. I feel like he's just smiling. I'm so glad. He's like, you guys are all uptight about time. He's just telling me to relax. And you know what? You're right, Martin. Okay. Let's all just... If you're watching this video, I now ask you to participate by breathing in through your nose, and now you're going to blow out slowly through your mouth with me. Okay. So I do feel that he was just trying to get out as much information as he could before his light was snuffed out, and so people could carry on despite an injustice he knew was on the horizon for him. I believe he had his own informants, and I think his own spidey senses beyond what any person in the flesh could come and tell him. I do think with that Piscean moon, he just knew. Well, he was tuned in. And his antenna here, as a magician, picked up that message. He has the symbol of infinity. That's also him telling me, chill, relax, girl. You have time. It's okay. I'm not uptight. So, when I look here with this apathy by those that were watching him, people that had no empathy for him whatsoever. And they really didn't grasp, I think, at the time, the significance of the horror of what they were doing. They just were thick, despite being very focused on taking him out. He knew he was bugged. He knew he was being tailed. He knew he was being tapped. And it was getting to him. He knew that it was people that are supposed to represent justice, but are not acting just. Now, when it comes to the assassination again, I feel like this is their patsy, their disposable person to take the blame and take the attention by the public away from digging deeper. It's part of a plan. There's also, though, with him some kind of because he did reconsider, didn't he? He did come back and say, you know what, I've been, whereas, oh God, is it Oscar? I can't believe I'm blanking on it. It's because it's so much, I'm trying so hard to remember that I'm blanking. But JFK's killer, just like he actually died. Why am I... Okay, if I let go of trying to think of his name, it'll come to me. I know it will. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. The only thing that is James Earl Ray, as a patsy, survived. Though he recanted or reconsidered that he was a cog, just a wheel in a greater... that he was being made use of, for a greater plan by some other people. He realized, I think, that he had been unjustly used in this assassination. Okay. Now, the Lovers And the Two of Wands. This to me is like him looking out on that balcony. And he may have had a feeling. I have to wonder, did somebody communicate that he was going to be going out to the balcony or getting him out to the balcony? Because they were watching him. He was all bugged up in that room. There was surveillance on him in that room. I feel like that, definitely. Despite the fact of whatever they want to say about the place, I feel like I'm being shown they were able to surveil him. I feel both auditory and visually. Once they got him outside the building on that balcony. And that's what I'm feeling. To think or to consider something. Or to, pose or do what he was going to do. Getting him out there was something here. It was important for them to be able to carry out these agreed upon, partnered assassination. So this was an alliance of two extremists type groups within power, or areas of power. I think between civilian and government that made it sure these assassinations happened, so that their interests could be carried out. That's what I'm getting from him. Okay. I'm asking him and I'm going to take these up, if we're going to see a difference with this new administration that we've not seen and that he certainly hadn't seen, that will make a big difference in advance of civil rights with Biden and Harris. So he's sitting right here with me. It's like, I know what you're saying. You don't even need to speak. But I am speaking for the benefit of the viewers, because typically when I'm communicating telepathically, and I am receiving telepathically. I do that in dream time. If you've ever dreamt of somebody who is deceased or is in spirit, many of us have, you might notice that you understand. It's a transference of understanding without using speech. But you sense that personality's intelligence and their expression is completely connected. The more sensitive you are, of course, that you'll sense that, but you'll understand what they're conveying. You'll feel it. It's as if it were like a file that you've downloaded and opened to review within yourself through your own senses. So I want to speak and ask Dr. King what he wants to speak about what we're seeing with the white nationalism today, and so much I want to ask him about. Also, the much hopeful grassroots that is reviving and interest in making a difference, and how that looks like it's going to go. I feel like there's a very hopeful message, and that's what he wants me to get to. Yeah, we've known a lot about damage, sorrow, and sadness, but I want him to share with us the more hopeful aspect that he might see and want to convey. Maybe not. We'll see. That we have yet to do, and why to be jazzed up and hopeful. And if we'll see improvement in civil rights. That's right. So are we entering a new era that we will really see inclusion for minorities and protection for us, and where Black lives matter, and where the lives of minorities matter, and we shouldn't and won't have to keep saying it and being told not to say it, that people will finally get it? That people of color and women and disabled and LGBTQIA community, there's a whole lot of people that make up this world. And Dr. King is like, and he was about bringing every person, no matter who or how, with inclusion. That you see them as a human being, and that you offer them that basic, unconditional love. And he was really about, he was high up there. I mean, like, he got energy that shows, like, that he was an advanced soul. He's trying to be modest. That doesn't work with me, Martin, Dr. King. You said informal. All right. So I'm going to ask him, does he firstly see, took me a while to get to it, but civil rights of people of color and the disabled and the LGBTQIA community? I see things getting better for us, becoming more visible, included, and not having to come up against so many obstacles just to do something. We all have to work. Minorities have to work 10 times as hard to get what is given to somebody that often, just for their looks, that does an okay job. But don't get me started. I'm talking about Dr. King, and I'm asking about civil rights and equality. And if we're entering finally a new era where it's really going to change, and change for the better with his dream. And the Aquarian age. Here's the mountaintop. 3 of Wands, looking out to a greater expansion. So he's showing me expansion. Yes, of the people that have been rejected, the minorities that feel like we are ignored, we are wallpaper, they take advantage of us, we are the working poor, we are the disabled, we are the cast outs, the ones that don't perhaps look the way society says is pretty, is acceptable, especially stupid superficial crap. We are the people that have never, ever, ever felt that we have ever fit into your world. As minorities. And this doesn't have to be that way. This is needless suffering. And something that leadership could do to change in society. But they won't, because keeping people miserable is profitable. is a way for them to maintain power. And they value the short term and destruction without care gain over the long-term destruction. That's what I'm getting from him. I see him saying, yes, this is now, the door is opening for minorities to have a place to talk about, not just ask, we are telling that we demand to be included. We are here. We are still alive, though many, have tried to kill us. I'm, as a disabled person, many people think that people who have disabilities should just be aborted. I think that's a very personal thing that each mother herself has got to decide, and it's not my business. As a mother, I am pro-choice, but I do feel like this is all, he was about civics. He's like, oh, keep going. I'm like, I don't know, am I? But he's talking about, those who have been long awaiting and just almost to the point of just accepting that they don't have a snowball's chance in hell of being included, but that there is a chance and there are windows, and is taking advantage of it. And I do feel that he is showing we are having an age of expansion for minorities. And I see a woman, a Queen of Swords, Two of Pentacles, that will be juggling, helping, and working on these issues for minorities, perhaps within the Biden team. Be a woman of an air sign. Kamala is an air sign. However, it might not just be one woman as well. It could represent a collective feminine force that is here to bring in totally something different. A feminine age of just truth, a real justice, and empathy. It's not just cold, hard, ruthless justice, quote unquote. It's real justice, is what I'm getting from him. So it's completely different. We're swinging into that expansion as a collective, if you can, of the varied number of minorities that there are. There's a lot of us, not so minority anymore, are we? This is about, he's speaking about personal well-being. Personal well-being, that everyone have access, also health care, I'm getting from him. And expanding that so that everyone everyone has access to basic well-being, and that they're not shut out if they want to go to church, or if they want to go to some place, that they don't feel like they are excluded because something is superficial of how they identify, or that's part of their heritage, or something stupid. Shouldn't be that way. It's a dumb, outdated, unevolved way that human beings need to change. Step up, drop it, stop it. I get a Queen of Cups here. Energy, again, empathy, healing, the much feminine power coming in. He's telling us that's going to deal with this very, it's the illness too, COVID. I feel like we're tapping in on that issue. He's like, because he was all about wanting to talk about serving others and getting people. He's happy to see that people are more socially aware and coming back to him, and coming back to other people who inspire them, Malcolm X and the other people who have fought and given their lives in the past and more recent past to try to further civil rights. Temperance. This is moderation. This is the right combination. And bringing people in, making this an inclusive, again, harmonic, can't talk. It is in harmony. The group is unity. Despite differences, you can be as different as you like, but we can still be unified. It's all about tolerance and a changing of one's mind and awareness, and using one's empathy and furthering one's understanding, opening your mind, not being set so rigid and just like, oh, you look certain, I can't, that's just stupid. Really, let's just call it what it is. Stupid. Bigotry is stupid. You are ruining things for everyone, including yourself, and you don't know it. Knight of Pentacles. This requires steady devotion and application, consistency, effort. And I do see growth. I do see we are in an age of opening up to growing into having more focus on well-being. That is not wrong. That we need to look at what we need to heal within ourselves, that we've become such an angry bunch of animals. And I don't mean animals in a negative way. But that even of itself, that we look down our nose at other species as though we're still better. We need to see that we are all interconnected. And that is also part of, I'm getting his nod, and that definitely the interconnectedness of all of us here. So what one does, it affects everyone, despite what one might think. You must think and see the bigger picture, that you are just a small but very much important part of an overall existence and progress. Interesting, I get again this I didn't get that card spun around, but I also get, I think this was the Knight of Pentacles was what I got, and I thought maybe that's Lee Harvey Oswald, but I just think this line says prepare to work. This might again speak to people that have been activists that have been unjustly, I feel like, yes, people that have for years worked in activism and been jailed and faced inequity of systemic injustice. This is going to be addressed. I see a female here, a water sign. She's going to be dealing with this aspect. Where there has been long-term injustice. Somebody within this new era on our horizon coming in with this new government. This is healing the wounds of injustice and of divide, the division, the racist, bigoted division in all its forms toward minorities, women, people who are queer, identify differently, trans, like my children, my adult children. This is about his dream. And yes, he's saying that we are going toward healing it. And we are going toward addressing the injustices, the shootings of people of color and women of color, with indigenous women being also targets of violence and murder and injustice. So that's very much going to be focused. We're going to see that definitely opening up to change. And we need to, and we will see that by having more diversity in Biden's cabinet, I'm getting that from King is indicating that we will see as a result that he's really giving us, I have no idea, that they will be more mindful themselves, and tended to be anyway, but especially now with ensuring that minorities who have been put in dire and worse conditions with this government receive the care and the help that they need. And it is not going to exclude white people. It's everybody. Again, this is about serving everyone. This is about inclusion, and we will see that with this new era starting and kicking off with this government. And I do feel that he is acknowledging that truth and saying that he is seeing that and gives us to know that. That's terribly exciting. And I think he's really happy. This is what he was seeing, that a real progress, and realizing he wouldn't live to see it. And a lot of others almost lived to see it. But we are right at a turning point, I feel like, right as we're going to start addressing really the racial wounds and divide in this country that need healing. And we come together and interconnected manner of healing injustice. There are secrets here. It shows with the High Priestess. And the world of spirit is watching. He's indicating to me that there's a bit thin veil. He's acknowledging the mediumship, that they watch from the other side and can communicate. I'm feeling like I'm good, he's good, we're ready to wrap this up. That's cool. That might be me, because I am an earth sign. And communicating. Complete. Yeah. Okay. End of the reading. All right. That was wild. Wow. Different type of way for me. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. King. Thank you for, I feel definitely like I felt his presence. I'm not just saying that because I'm a nut or whatever you want to think. I am old enough now that I've been thought of as crazy for a long time, so it doesn't really matter to me anymore so much. I did feel that. And I hope that you were able to take away something from this that is meaningful. And I'll have to listen to it over again, because when I kind of go into that mode, I am not... I don't always remember what I've said. You know, you'll hear other readers say that. I'm just conduit, and sometimes that's why it's great to record it. Then I can listen to it and go, oh, I said that. Okay. A little bit of the mediumistic work there. Alrighty. And more kind of in deep that way. Stopping here. See you in the next video. Happy Martin Luther King Day. And go out there and make the world a better place. Make people feel good. Don't try too hard, because then we look a bit silly. And I'm speaking out to us white folk that need to you know, catch up a bit, okay? All right. See you in the next video. Love to you guys. Work on that self and love that self so you can love everyone else too. Or at least be much more patient with them.